Persona 5 Royal is nearly here, and anyone who's familiar with the original release knows just how massive it is. You can easily expect around 120 hours of playtime on your first playthrough. And with the arrival of Royal, there's even more to do. So even though today is the embargo date for reviews, I'm not finished yet. I have around 45 hours clocked so far, and though I'm making steady progress, I'm also trying to see as much as I can because there are a lot of differences here. While I won't say that it feels like a completely different game, Persona 5 Royal does feel like a massive refinement. There are so many changes, both big and small, that give the early impression that this is the definitive version. Gameplay-wise, this is simply better. Everything's more clear, more laid out, and more rewarding. I get the sense that the developers looked over the common complaints of Persona 5 and made it a point to fix or improve them in some way. And although I've enjoyed all of it greatly, I'm not ready to give it a final score as I haven't encountered the extra time of year nor a newcomer Kasumi in my party. Story-wise, it's been primarily the same except for a few new scenes featuring Kasumi or the new school counselor Marukey. I want to see if things are thrown off at all later in the plot from these additions. But as I've said already, the gameplay changes make this a much better experience than the original. So if that's all you want to know at this point, I think you'll be satisfied. But if you're curious about some of the changes in Royal and how the gameplay has been specifically improved, well, there's a lot to cover in just the hours I've played. Let's begin with the new confidants, Kasumi and Marukey. Kasumi has been heavily advertised in the lead up to Royal, but my time with her as of the third dungeon hasn't been that extensive. There are a few encounters sprinkled throughout, but it's not until a certain point that she even becomes a confidant, and there's not even a hint of her joining the team yet. She stands out as an extremely likable character, and her inclusion doesn't feel that forced. Her bonuses as a confidant, at least at this point, focus on her gymnastics and allow Joker to escape being surrounded or extend the reach of his ambush on wandering enemies. Better yet, each new rank with Kasumi increases Joker's max health by 5. The other new confidant is Marukey, a school counselor who's hired after the incident that forms the Phantom Thieves, and I think he's a great addition. He slots in naturally and never disrupts the flow of the game. If Royal is your first time playing Persona 5, you might be surprised that he wasn't in the original release. That said, Marukey does stand out from the other confidants in that he's not as ostracized as the others. Sure, his theories on mental health and general goofball nature makes him stand out, but I haven't experienced the trauma that other characters have gone through. But he is there for students, so it does make sense, and his bonuses are amazing, allowing Joker to take care of himself stat and ailment-wise without having to rely on teammates. Plus, every new rank increases his max SP by 5, which is a huge help. Other confidants have seen changes as well. One of the biggest is that every new party member starts with Baton Pass, which allows them to send their turn to an ally if they hit an enemy weakness. Baton Pass in general has been expanded greatly, but I'll get to that soon enough. As far as non-party confidants, Oya has been made a little more useful as the dungeon alert level no longer begins at 0%. Instead, every time you enter the dungeon, it begins at a certain level, with each later dungeon raising that base alert. It makes being careful and sneaking around that much more important, though I still haven't had that much trouble. The Twins Confidant has also been changed with a remixed list of personas to present them. Some are the same, just as for earlier, but others are completely new. And then there's Akechi, who actually grants bonuses as his confidant ranks up. Unfortunately, I've yet to go beyond rank 1, so I'm not sure if it's still automatic or if he could be hung out with like many of the other characters. Still, so far, I really like both the new confidants and the changes made to existing ones. Now, let's get back to the Baton Passes. Before, a Baton Pass occurred every time you hit an enemy with their weakness, downing them and allowing that character to pass their turn to another, increasing their power and potentially downing any enemy that were weak to them. That still applies in Royal, but the benefits of Baton Pass are much greater. Right from the beginning, Baton Pass feels like it does much more damage than in the original game, and it's emphasized thanks to the new visual effects. Even better, if the player manages to Baton Pass between their entire party of 4, the last character can use any ability without using their HP or SP. I try to take advantage of it as much as I can because it's just that useful. But this is where the new location, Kitchy Joji, comes in. One of the major places of interest is the pool hall, where the Phantom Thieves can get together to play darts or billiards. I haven't taken the time to play billiards yet, but the description of its uses says that it'll improve a random social stat while increasing Joker's closeness with the party. Instead, I've focused on darts, which powers up the Baton Pass of the character you're playing with, which are worth doing. At rank 2, it'll recover HP, and at rank 3, it'll recover HP and SP, so it's great at making you feel efficient. A character can even reach max rank immediately if they're the one to make the winning throw. There's a wonderful balance to it all that I adore. Kitchy Joji itself is a fun place to visit. Beyond the pool hall, there's a place to sell dirty clothes, which you get way more of, a temple, a jazz club, new shops for gifts and accessories, and even a person who will trade goods. I haven't seen everything to do there yet, but it feels like a solid addition and is integrated with no issue. The other new place to visit is the Thieves Den, which can be accessed most any time in the main menu. Here, players can use P-coins to unlock music, cutscenes, concept art, and arrangeable figures for a little bit of downtime. It's mostly a gallery, but there's something addictive about gathering it all. And not only can you earn P-coins by completing certain challenges in the main game, but there's the new Tycoon card game to earn extra coins. It's not too hard to understand at the casual level, but when you step up the difficulty, there's a lot of nuanced rules that you might want to learn and take advantage of. The amazing thing about playing Persona 5 Royal so far is how it always seems like there's something new to discover that's been changed from the original release. Right off the bat are the guns. Before, the Phantom Thieves only had so many bullets to use within a visit to a dungeon, making them something I only rarely used. But in Royal, guns are way more versatile. Now, the party only has one clip, but it refills between each battle. Not only that, but guns are more powerful than melee weapons. They just have a limited amount of uses. It's a smart change, and I'm using guns way more now because of it. The main dungeons, or palaces, have also been remixed in Royal thanks to the new grappling hook at Joker's disposal. They haven't been changed that much, the base ideas are still there, but there are new places to explore or even skip past thanks to the grappling hook. Most of these new areas accommodate the will seeds. Every palace has 3 to discover, with each one refilling a small amount of SP to your party. But if you find all 3, then the seeds become a new accessory, making them that much more worth searching out. Accessories in general are different in Royal, as they also grant abilities to the wearer rather than only increase stats or ailment resistances. Those are still there, but other accessories grant different magic skills, or in the Will Seed's case, an entirely new ability. Stealth is still highly encouraged within the palaces, and hiding has been adjusted to help make it a little easier. Now players can directly target enemies or nearby treasures if they so choose. It's a small thing, but I do find it helpful. Fighting enemy shadows has seen a few other revisions as well. Morgana will now give hints to the enemy's mood, making it much clearer what kind of response they're looking for in order to recruit. This one change has made Persona recruitment way easier, though Savage Shadows have been made a little tougher. Even after reaching a high enough level to recruit them, they will refuse to be talked to unless their health has been drained sufficiently. It's kept me on my toes despite surpassing their level. The final new shadow that I've encountered so far are Disaster Shadows. These will counterattack every time they're hit, unless it's with their weakness. Once they're defeated, they'll explode, causing massive damage to the other enemies and granting an extra item. While on the whole, these new types don't change much, they still allow for greater variety when fighting the same set of enemies in a palace. And naturally, with all these other changes, bosses have been remixed as well, offering new gimmicks for returning players to figure out. I actually prefer Royal's version of the second boss over the original. But let's talk about the Velvet Room, as there are new things to discover there as well. First and foremost is the change to personas. Now, every persona has a trait which could affect your strategies with them. They could increase potency of an element, extend stat changes, power up baton passes, or even decrease the amount of SP used. And these can be chosen when fusing personas. So it's possible to create a powerful persona with a trait that would make it even better that it wouldn't naturally receive. I haven't played around with the idea too much, but I'm positive hardcore fans will enjoy finding the best trait for each persona. While it's not as major of a change, persona itemization has been made clearer. When looking at the list of personas you've obtained, there's the choice to look at what they'll become, making it so you don't need them in your party to figure out what special item you could possibly get. And finally, there are the challenges. Every 10 levels a new fight is offered and certain conditions are set. For example, using nuclear skills will multiply the points earned in an attack by 3, or defeating an enemy with Yusuke will multiply his damage by 7. If enough points are earned by the end of the challenge, then the player will earn special items. There's no punishment for failing, so it makes for a different kind of fight, as weaknesses are clearly displayed, but all-out attacks are unavailable. I've been trying to do them every chance I get. Of course, there's a different kind of challenge that eventually opens up as well. The Velvet Room twins can appear just outside the entrance and request to see something in the real world, such as the movie theater or one of the restaurants. Taking the time to do this with them will earn you new skill cards for your personas. But this also leads to other changes in regards to the time you spend day to day. The biggest is LeBlanc. Rather than being forced to sleep after visiting the other world known as the Metaverse, Joker can do something before going to bed. He could read a book, study, clean the cafe to raise his kindness, watch a DVD, or even make more infiltration tools. It truly feels like a godsend to someone who played the original Persona 5. Outside of LeBlanc, DVD rentals have been changed to a one-time yearly fee rather than paying for each individual rental. This makes it way clearer that you can rent as much as you want without worrying about late fees that never actually come. Moving on, the jobs Joker can take will also occasionally contact him on his phone on special days where he can earn extra money. Everything is just communicated much more clearly. You'll be warned when a confidant is going to require a specific social stat in order to continue, and even the quick travel menu shows what each location can do for you. It's just a better experience. Even the randomized dungeon Mementos has been improved. This was the dullest location in the original game, and while it's still not great, it does feel like it has more focus. The makeup of the random floors has new elements, and there's a greater difference in each section's look. Not only that, but new music is featured the deeper in you go. There are even deviation floors that challenge the player in new ways. They might be filled with treasure demons allowing you to earn extra money, but it'll also be pitch black with no map, or even have the powerful Reaper roaming the floor, although it's much less aggressive. Mementos desperately needed this variation, but the best addition is the new character of Jose. This mysterious boy asks the team to collect flowers in exchange for items. They're spread around every floor and are easy to find, but the flowers are only good for that visit to Mementos. Any you still have will disappear forever, and Jose only randomly appears on each floor, though you can move between them until he triggers. But even better than the flowers are the stamps that can be collected. Each section of mementos has a certain amount that can be found, and by turning them in, Jose can change mementos, allowing for more experience, money, and items to be earned from battle. I actually feel awake exploring mementos this time around. And as of right now, I think that's the key strength of Persona 5 Royal. It looked at what could and should be updated, and did it. The gameplay is fantastic, the changes are smart, the graphics truly pop on the PlayStation 4 now, the voice acting is still on point, and the new songs are great. But like I said at the beginning, there's still so much more for me to discover. I only recently got the Showtime skills that occasionally allow for super powerful pair attacks, and I still have a new semester and party member to experience. I feel confident in recommending the game right now, but I still want to give it some time before I finalize that opinion. I should be able to finish Persona 5 Royal before its release on March 31st, so be sure to subscribe to Game Explained for more on Persona, the finished review, and other things gaming.